So obviously my name is Aman and I run a food and lifestyle blog. My main focus is vegan food, so living a really healthy and really conscious lifestyle that kind of benefits me as a person, I suppose. That's mainly my aim. So apart from that, I am a law student. So I graduated with my law degree in the summer. I became vegan 2 years ago. I have a real passion for food, which is the reason I went vegan, but it was mainly to do with the fact that my dad, he had a heart attack, and when he had his heart attack, there was a lot of different things which impacted the reason why he had it. But one of the main reasons that the doctor talked about was his diet. His diet was poor. He needed more nutrients, more food that would nourish him, which he wasn't getting. And I guess it's kind of like a cultural thing in a sense in our lifestyle. Us being Indians, we don't really take note of the food we eat, we just eat it, and most of the time it's not the healthiest. So yeah, after he had his heart attack, it made me sit and just really evaluate my diet and the food that I was eating. And I guess I just wanted to be more healthy and just live a more sustainable life, not just for me, but I feel the environmental benefits, um, as well as the dietary benefits. So that's why I moved on to a vegan diet. And I guess the reason I'm here today is to tell you guys a bit more about a vegan diet, how you could implement a vegan diet into your lifestyle, be very flexible with your diet, but also at the same time, um, just learn generally about diet. So, beginning with veganism. What is veganism? So, veganism is to do with your diet, your lifestyle, and in general, just cutting out anything that comes from animals. We're trying to live a more healthier life, and in order to do that, we cut out animals, we try and live a very cruelty-free life. And when I mean cruelty free, I mean not just in sense of animal cruelty, but also environmental. Um, there's a lot of toxic gases and a lot of toxic waste when it comes to meat and um, animal substances. So yeah, it's just about cutting it out and living a more healthier life. That's mainly the reason that people go vegan. I've never heard of someone say that they've gone vegan because they want to, um, for like a bad reason. It's always to improve your diet, be more healthier. It's always for a positive change. That's mainly the aim. But I do need to emphasize that becoming vegan does not necessarily mean being healthier. There's two types of vegans. There's the type that will eat all the fresh food, um, go plant-based, eat more alive foods, and then there's the type that will go vegan and they'll just cut out the animal products, but at the same time their diet is unhealthy, which does not benefit them. Um, if anything, it's the opposite. You might as well just stick to eating meat. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that when you go vegan, you need to make sure you're having a balanced diet so that you are healthier. There's no point going vegan and not changing your diet so that you're healthy. Otherwise, you're just going backwards more than anything. Um, yeah, so I mentioned a plant-based diet. So this is something that I wanted to touch on. Um, a plant-based diet is when you eat more healthily, you stay away from ready meals, instant meals, and I guess the main aim is to eat more alive food. Alive food being your fresh vegetables, your fresh fruit, um, yeah, and kind of just making that change to make food medicine. So obviously, the food that we eat impacts us greatly. Research actually suggests that people who primarily eat plant-based diets tend to have a lower body mass and lower rates of obesity, diabetes, heart disease than any other person that will like eat a normal meat diet. And plant-based diets are high in fiber. And yeah, so as a whole, it's about using food as medicine. whole food foods actually act as medicine to heal and protect your body and boost your immune system. But when you're having but when you fuel your body with processed foods, chemicals, um, and all that bad stuff, your immune system is lowered and your digestive system actually slows down instead of um,
Yeah.
helping you. So I guess the main thing with a plant-based diet is eating food that actually benefits you. And if you think of it logically, why wouldn't you want to eat food that makes you feel better? It's logic, right? Um, Now, looking at plant-based diets in more detail, um, plant-based diet has, and veganism in general has a massive impact on the environment. It's not just about you and the food that you eat. The food that you eat has a massive impact around the world, which sounds so dramatic, but it's true. Um, the diet and lifestyle you choose impacts the environment, whether you want to believe me or not, it does. Um, Reducing energy, um, like as I've written on the slide, you can see cutting gas emissions, reducing air pollution, protecting the rainforest and land, mitigating climate change. These are just a few of the things that I've named on there, but you can see it in more detail. There's a lot of massive environmental benefits. Um, Also, gas emissions, um, without a doubt, they are benefited. And when you eat a plant-based diet, it's a lot better for the environment. If we were to eliminate meat and milk from our diets and we went 100% plant-based, we would be saving at least 50% of the water we use. Of course, stating the obvious, but meat production is also very, very harmful to our land. Livestock rearing is responsible for nearly 20% of all greenhouse gases and is rapidly destroying rainforests in the Amazon and elsewhere. But this isn't the only thing that meat production is doing. Meat production is also harming our water supply. Now, let me tell you why. It is estimated that between 1,800 and 2,500 gallons of water go into producing each pound of meat. Now, you've got to realize that that is a massive amount of water. That same amount of water could produce 16 pounds of broccoli, 25 pounds of potatoes, enough soybeans for 3 pounds of tofu, or enough wheat for nearly 5 pounds of whole wheat bread. Now, that is a lot of water. But how does this affect us? Um, Obviously, I know that people don't eat meat with the intention to harm the planet, and a lot of you guys are vegetarians, so this doesn't impact us as much. However, when people are buying meat, you're supplying the demand for it. Of course, if you're vegetarian and vegan, like I said, it doesn't really apply to you. However, if you're not, you're basically, if you begin to slowly cut down your meat intake and every other person began to do the same. So imagine a family member of yours is a big meat lover and they decided to give it up or they decided to cut down on it, and the person next door to you did and the person next door to that, like a whole group of people did that. You would slowly be cutting the demand of meat, meaning that a lot less people would be buying it and a lot less companies would be demanding the supply. But bringing this back to veganism and a plant-based diet, adopting more plant-based diets for ourselves could reduce the greenhouse gas emissions of the food system by more than half. Obviously, the point of this isn't to say you need to go vegan and vegan is the way forward. I 100% do believe that
Yeah.
veganism is the way forward, but this isn't something that I'm trying to force down you, if you get what I'm trying to say. I'm saying that that you guys should maybe become a flexitarian. So have a vegan meal every other day or every other week. Just have that option and experiment with it rather than doing nothing and just living the way you are, because I've personally seen a lot of benefits from a vegan diet, and I think if everyone was to implement a live meal during their day, they'd feel a lot better as humans. Um, Now, moving on to the journey to zero waste. Now, I briefly want to talk to you guys about this. Zero waste is all about reducing what waste we make in our households. This includes any food scraps, recyclable waste, general household wastes. Going zero waste aims to recognize the environmental impact your consumption habits are having on the environment and eliminate it as much as possible. Obviously, I'm here to talk about it from a food perspective, but there's something called the 5 R's: refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle. What was the other one? Reduce, recycle. Oh, and rot. There we go. So those are the 5 R's. Refusing helps eliminate a lot of water from the start. It's about saying no to free stuff that becomes instant waste. So, for example, putting this in a perspective of food, if you were to go to McDonald's and order yourself a takeout, you will get a drink with a straw in it. You do not need that straw, I promise you don't. You go to Starbucks and they give you your coffee, or you go to any other coffee shop, most of the time they will give it in a plastic cup, or a cup that isn't like single use, so you use it and then you throw it in the bin after. But the problem with this is more waste that we don't need. If you were to get a straw that you could reuse, take it with you. Get a coffee cup that you can have for your coffee on the go. I feel like India is quite good in the sense that most places that I've been to, they actually serve coffee. Most coffee shops I went to, they served coffee indoors, but I guess I never had the option of taking it out, so I don't know how the takeout cup system works. But if you have a cup to take out with you, literally you can take that cup anywhere in the world and you're doing your bit for the environment. Yeah, then obviously we have reduce. Reduce is simply just reducing what you're buying. So buying food that you actually need to eat, purchasing stuff that you're going to eat, and be mindful about it. So imagine you go to the supermarket and there's food that you know you're not going to eat. Don't buy it for the sake of it. Buy stuff that you're actually going to eat and use, rather than contributing to waste. If things are going to get thrown at the end, then there's no point in buying it. Of course, reuse and rot can't really be put into the perspective of food. However, recycle can. One of the most ambiguous ways to reduce waste is to recycle. This can be by your leftover boxes, recycling systems. I'm not really sure how they work in India, but I'm so sure there's some kind of recycling way everywhere you go. Yeah, so like, sorry. Oh, I thought someone said it. Sorry. Yeah, so basically what I'm trying to say is that there is a lot of benefits from eating a vegan diet and eating a lot of alive food. The more alive food you eat, the better it benefits your system. Now, I'm gonna share a few recipes with you guys. They're really, really quick and easy. I've tried not to complicate them, and I've tried to make it so that they will fit literally anyone and everyone, rather than um, you thinking that you need a certain amount of ingredients or anything like that. They're suitable for everyone. So yeah, um, to begin with, we have a lemon and mint water. Now, when you wake up in the morning, you are dehydrated. Whether you want to admit it or not, you've got to realize that you've had over 8 hours of sleep, maybe. You have been fasting. During that period of time, your body has not had an inch of hydration. In order to hydrate yourself and keep to your best ability, you need water. And one of the best ways to do that is by having lemon and mint. Now, let me tell you, lemon and mint is an amazing combination because it's really refreshing, especially if you have it first thing in the morning. And the best thing about this is it's seasonal. So you could have this in the winter when it's cold with hot water, or you can have it in the summer when it's hot with ice. So all you do is you get your lemon and your mint and you put it in a cup. You fill the cup up with cold water if you're in the mood for cold water. You can put some ice in it and just give it a little stir, let it sit for a little bit, and then just drink it up. It's so nourishing and it makes you feel so good. It's one of my go-tos in the morning. Also, if it was winter, for example, you could boil some water and put some hot water in. Hot water works just as well. Um, and yeah, it's literally one of the best things to do. Then I've got a plant-based turmeric latte recipe to share with you guys. Um, Turmeric has so many benefits. Obviously, haldi is used everywhere in India, I'm guessing, but in the UK, it's not as popular. But it's becoming a trend, which is good. But yeah, there's loads of it's a medical herb in a way. There's a lot of benefits, and it's a strong um, it's good for when you, I guess, are not feeling too well. There's strong antioxidants and anti-inflammatories. So it basically is to make you feel good. Um, I always try and drink it before bed just because it kind of makes you feel a bit sleepy. But something I wanted to talk to you guys about was plant-based milk. So the ingredients I've written on the screen, a half teaspoon of turmeric, half teaspoon of cinnamon, something sweet. So obviously you can use sugar, if you've got any syrups, um, green cardamom, and then plant-based milk. Um, I don't know if anyone's tried plant-based milks, but I did a bit of research on this, and I remembered when I went to India, I found it very hard to find good plant-based milk. I was there for 3 weeks, and I couldn't adjust to the milk. That was one thing that I really, really needed because I drink a lot of coffee. I needed that in the morning. So I actually went and found some plant-based milk. These were the ones that I used. This was only last year, so I'm guessing they probably still sell them. Um, the SoFit soy milk is really, really good. That was my favorite one. And then there's the So Good plant-based almond milk. Um, I can't remember what the supermarket was called, but it was whatever the normal supermarket is in India. I think it was in literally most of them. But plant-based milk, it's really rich in vitamins and minerals. Most of them are low in fat. They do not contain any cholesterol, which obviously, if you're getting cow's milk or goat's milk, it's got a lot of cholesterol in, and it's also perfect for people with a slow digestive system because the milk isn't that heavy. You really should try some. I really like the soya milk. So when I was in India, I asked someone to buy me some, and they bought me the milk, but it was soy milk, but it was green, and it was absolutely disgusting. And I was thinking to myself, no way, there's got to be actual soy milk in India. So I went and I found this one, and it was one of the best. So I definitely recommend trying plant-based milk. Um, and then I'm going to be sharing another recipe with you guys, and this is a smoothie bowl. Now, again, I've mentioned plant-based milk. You need one banana, pineapple cubes, just any pineapple cut up, one orange, one mango, and then plant-based milk. You put it all in a blender, you blend it up, and you eat it. But let me tell you something. If you do not have all the ingredients, so imagine you can't find pineapples or you can't find bananas, it does not matter. Just substitute the ingredients. You will put it all in a blender and it will blend it up really nicely, and then you'll put it in a plate and you'll top it with fruit. It's so nourishing. There's so many health benefits, and it's a great way to have fruit in your diet without kind of forcing fruit in your diet. Um, there's a lot of alive food, and I think that's what everyone needs in their diet. So yeah, I definitely recommend trying a smoothie bowl. And like I said, change the ingredients, change it to stuff you like. As long as it's stuff that you like, there's no way you can go wrong. There's no thing that you have to put in it. um yeah, and the next ingredient, the next recipe I'm going to share with you guys are Buddha bowls. Now, Butter bowls are amazing. I literally live off them. There's so many benefits, and it's the best way to get your protein, your carbohydrates, and everything you need in one bowl, which is why I love it. So, I wanted to make this a recipe which you guys can all try out. And I needed to do this in a way which was very flexible and yeah. So the way I'm going to tell you to make a Buddha bowl is basically use anything and everything you have at home. Um, yeah. Oh, I've gone one forward. Yeah. So sorry, the chat's just popped up. Yeah. So um, with a butter bowl, firstly, you need some leaves. Any kind of leaves you need, use them. This could be spinach, lettuce, kale, rocket, any leaves, literally anything. That doesn't have to be like a specific type. Use leaves. Then you need to add two types of vegetables. Now, these vegetables, like I said, anything, whether you have some tomatoes at home, carrots, sweet corn, use what you've got in your cupboards, like, or whatever you can find in the supermarket. Don't feel that you need to have a certain type of vegetable. As long as there's two, you're all good. Then you need protein. So this can be something like lentils, beans, tofu. And when I mean lentils, I don't mean dal. I mean just get your lentils, put them in a pan and boil them. Boiled lentils are really good. Um, yeah, and then um, I was gonna say also you could use tofu. I don't know how tofu works in India. I don't think I saw tofu, but even if you didn't want to make it vegan and you wanted a vegetarian alternative, for example, you could use what's it called, paneer. That's also good. Kidney beans, chickpeas. Also a trick with chickpeas, if you put them in some oil, if you cook them in oil, so just fry them and add a bit of paprika or any seasoning, even if it's some masala, but don't make it into a dal format, just make it as just chickpeas. They taste amazing. Then add carbohydrates. So carbohydrates will keep you a lot fuller for a lot longer. So add rice, add potatoes. If you've got a sabji at home that your mom has made, put it in the Buddha bowl. It's a big variety of different things that will make you feel good. And I think that's basically what you need in your diet. Yeah. Um, I think it's just about variety. Um, the smoothie sorry, I've just seen your questions. Will the smoothie recipe benefit with normal? Yeah, of course. So if you do not want to use plant-based milk, use normal milk. It works perfectly. Um, yeah, just literally use what you've got, but try the recipes. Vegan food is not more expensive. Vegan food is more about being um, conscious about the food you eat, but also having more food that is alive. So mainly just vegetables. Um, yeah. Did I face any challenges when shifting to a vegan-based diet? Um, my biggest challenge was finding milk. Even in the UK, it was really hard to find milk because there was not very good ones when I turned vegan. But I was working in a vegan cafe at the time, so I learned a lot from the people there, and that really helped. Did I uh, how do vegans get enough vitamin and nutrients? By keeping a balanced diet 100%, by making sure you have the right balance. And that's the best way to do it. Make sure you have your vegetables, make sure you have your protein. And yeah. Will there be any problem shifting from a high protein diet, non-vegetarian to vegan diet? No, of course not. As long as you're still getting your protein, you're still having a balanced diet, then you're going to be fine. However, if you're new to it, then I do recommend looking into vitamins, B12 especially, or even like a vegan multivitamin. Those are really good. Um, yeah, and then the last thing you need to add to your Buddha bowl, sorry, going back to that, is a salad dressing. And again, this is optional if you wanted to. Um, Throw in some coriander, dhania makes everything better. And yeah, that's your Buddha bowl, but it's just basically a bowl full of loads of nutrients and Yeah, you'll never go wrong if you have a Buddha bowl for lunch, and you'll always be so full, which is the best bit. Now, the next recipe I want to share with you was overnight oats. This is also the last recipe I'm sharing, and then I'll ask if you guys have got any more questions. Um, which is again such an easy recipe. You need to get your porridge, so your oats. You put it in a cup, you put some milk in it. So if I was to tell you rough estimates, I'd say 50 grams of oats, 250 milliliters of milk. Mix it up, put it in a jar, close the jar, put it in the fridge, leave it overnight. In the morning when you wake up, open it up. You can put some yogurt in it, you can put some fruit in it, some syrup, really season it up, make it really nice, and have it for your breakfast. Really good way to start the day because there's so much nutrients going into you. But if you wanted to heat it up when you got it out of the fridge, that's also okay. Heat it up, put some fruit on top. It's basically whatever suits you. And I've put yogurt, but I said yogurt, sorry, but again, this isn't something that you have to add. You could add something else like um, cinnamon butter or not cinnamon butter, it's not a thing, peanut butter, or like anything else like that, just stuff that you really enjoy. Yeah.